Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Today is Video Friday, so we are going to be making our YouTube and we are going to be making a very cute thank you card. This card is using the Texture Chic Designer Series paper. And of course we have the Chic dies. We also have the stamp set Season of Chic that coordinate with it. The paper is just gorgeous. Every sheet of it is just beautiful. And so I thought, let's use some of that paper and let's not waste any of it. So you're going to see my little trick. And I'm going to be using the Deckled Rectangle dies. I'm also going to be using the Stylish Shapes, which is my go-to for circles and squares now because they have the cute edge. So let's get started today and make this card. It's kind of a simple card, but it's super cute. Okay, so I'm going to be using a piece of soft suede cardstock for my base, and this is 5.5 by 8.5. I'm just going to fold that in half. Okay, so soft suede is a lighter brown. It's not as dark, obviously, as espresso. I find it even more useful. Okay, it's usually you want to put something on the inside because it is still kind of dark to write on. So, okay, so the paper that I'm going to be using, the piece of paper that I'm going to be using is this piece. And I'm going to show it to you. I'll try to pick it up and show it to you. Okay, so this is the paper, and it's called Texture Chic. It's in the annual catalog. It has so many beautiful colors in it. It has Evening Evergreen, Mango Melody, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Soft Suede, and Soft Succulent. And so those are the colors that I'm going to kind of work with. Okay, so my Deckled Rectangle dies are those nested dies that I thought I didn't need. And maybe you're like me and you think, I already have rectangles, don't need the Deckled rectangles. But it's kind of like a tearing look that you can, well, you're going to see why I love them. So what I did here was I did cut out of 2 of the dies. Okay, so I cut one out and then I cut the center out with another one. And the reason is because we are going to hide this cutout, and why not use the Designer Series paper to its fullest use rather than cutting another piece and just having this hidden underneath. So anyway, so let's get started. I also cut out some white. I did the same thing with the white. So these are nested, right? And so they're layered beautifully. They're just a smidge off. Smidge a word? I think so. I use it all the time. They're just a smidge off, so I call them nesting. All right. So I have done the same thing. I used this one. Okay. So you can see, get the set of dies so you can actually see. You get you actually get 8. Okay, so I'm actually using 4 of them. So this one is the largest, right? And then this one, oh, I take that back. This one is the largest. And then I used that one. And then I used this one. Okay, so that's the 4th from the largest. And then I used this one, which is the 5th from the largest. So I didn't use the small ones. I actually cut out a circle from Stylish Shapes, and that's what I'm going to stamp on for my greeting. Okay, all right, so let's get started. I should show you the adorable stamp set that I just got, Good Feelings. So a lot of my stamp sets have obviously nice sentiments, but this has big sentiments, and I'm liking it. It's something different. And so today I'm going to be using this thank you. I'm going to do some copper embossing and use this on my circle. All right, so let's make the card first and then we'll worry about the sentiment. Okay, so first thing I want to do is layer some of this together. So when you layer it, you can see just how cute it starts to get, right? So I don't have my adhesive. Where's my adhesive? Hang on a second. Always within reach, but never on the table. Okay, so I'm gonna put some adhesive on the back. center this like that. So it has a nice border. All right. And then I'm going to add this one. Okay. And as you can see, the back side is beautiful. It has gold. I didn't choose the gold side because I want to use copper embossing powder. And I just didn't want to cross over and use, you know, gold paper with copper powder. I don't know, crazy that way. Okay, now I have another piece of brown, right? And so that is going to be next. And then this piece, and then this piece. So we got a lot of layers going on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these together. And I'm not going to, I don't think I'm going to pop this one up with dimensionals. I mean, I could. I'll have to think about that. Okay, so this is going to go here, and it would look kind of cute popped up. Okay, I'm going to add some ribbon. I'm going to use my soft succulent ribbon shown in the big catalog on page 146. It's the soft succulent, hang on a second, I can tell you exactly what it's called. Soft succulent satin shimmer ribbon, $7.50 for the roll. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie that around here. I don't think I'm going to make a bow. I don't want to make it too bulky. Boy, I cut a lot of ribbon here. I think I'm going to have some waste. Silly girl. This ribbon is, it's got some body to it. It's not super thin. Okay, so just telling you up front, it does have a little bit of a body to it. Hope these scissors are going to work on ribbon. Yes. Sometimes they have glue on them and they don't cut ribbon well. So I just have to use my Goo Gone if that's the case. Okay, liking that. Should I pop that up? I think perhaps I should, but I didn't bring my dimensionals over and they're right here. Again, not that far off, luckily. So I wasn't going to pop it up, but I think, yeah, I think it might need it. So I'm just going to put 5 dimensionals on there. I usually put one in the center when it's a bigger piece like this because I don't want the center to bow down in the mail. Okay. All right. And now all I need to do is stamp my sentiment and heat set it. Okay, so I have this circle. I have this stamp set, thank you, from the stamp set. Okay, so what I want to do is, I want to lose my circle, so I'm going to put it back. So my Stylish Shapes dies are the best. I love them. I use them so much. Okay, so we're going to do some embossing. So I have my little embossing kit here, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about embossing. Okay, so this is the tray. This is your Versamark. This is my powder, my copper powder. This is my re-inker for my Versamark. And this is my embossing buddy. And this is my tool that I use to hold my little piece of paper. So, if your Versamark looks like mine, not that pretty, it might need to be re-inked. And re-inking a Versamark, okay? So a lot of people think, oh, I need a new pad. You know, it's kind of dry. No, you don't need a new pad. You're just going to re-ink it. Now, this re-inker's kind of low, but you're just going to put a little drops of re-inker. So this is kind of a sticky glue, a sticky, gluey, sticky ink, right? So you really kind of have to work it into this foam pad because it kind of wants to just sit on top. But you really need to ink these occasionally because they do get dry. And you can use Versamark for different things. You don't have to just use it for heat embossing. You can actually use it for tone on tone. So for example, if I wanted to stamp something and I don't really want to go over and get my soft suede pad, I just want to use Versamark. It'll it'll work great. It'll look like, you know, a darker brown. Okay, I'm not going to over ink that because I'm going to use it right now. So all that being said, I'm going to get out my embossing buddy. This is pretty important, guys, is the embossing buddy. And the reason is because, and I get lazy with it sometimes, especially on dark cardstock, you really, really need to use embossing buddy. If you don't, this powder is going to stick to your paper, and even when you blow it off, it's not gonna go away. Okay, so just telling you. Okay, oh, you know what do I need to do first? Stamp. Hello. Talk and not think. Okay, so you really want to ink that stamp up. And I love red rubber stamps. Love them. I love them more than photopolymer. I know you're probably thinking, why? But they stick to the block nicely now because they're cling, and they are so durable. You can use StazOn with them. They are the best. Okay, so we're going to try to fit this on here. It's going to be tight. I think it's going to fit. If not, it's going to be just fine. Looks good. Now, I did get a little extra down here, which we will take care of when you're going to see in a second. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. Now I'm going to pour my embossing powder on it generously. Knock it off. Okay, I want to make sure I get that exclamation point. Okay, so what happened? I got like a little extra powder because that stamp had Versamark, and I pushed really hard, and I got some Versamark on my cardstock. So you want to make sure that you clear that off before you heat. All right. And then move the powder out of the way before you turn the heat gun on. You think I've done that a couple times? Blown powder everywhere. Okay, so our heat gun has 2 settings. You want to go with the second setting. The first setting is basically used for vellum. That's what I use it for. Maybe you use it for something else, but the heat gun has to heat up a little bit before it'll start melting the powder. But this is like magic. This is my favorite part of heat embossing, is when it starts to melt. Oh, I love it. See that gorgeousness? And especially copper is so beautiful. I love it. Okay, so once it's all melted and shiny, you're done. And don't overheat it, because you can warp, you can actually burn your paper. I've done that too. See, I've been doing this for 22 years, so I've done lots of these mistakes. So this you just pour right back into the jar, and no waste. Okay. All right. So now we have this, and we're going to place this on our card. Isn't that gorgeous? And I don't think I'm going to pop it up because I already have some dimensionals going on. And when I mail it, it's going to be super thick. I keep putting dimensionals on it. I need to put it right. I think I'm going to put it right in the center. Yep. Oh, I love it. Okay, so as I said, it needs something on the inside because this is dark brown cardstock, right? Soft suede. And so it'd be really hard to write on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Season of Chic stamp set, and I'm going to just stamp a couple leaves on here. And I'm going to, this is a beautiful stamp set. It's beautiful for fall. And I'm just going to stamp some soft succulent leaves on the inside so that it'll kind of, and you can stamp these on your envelope too. I used to always say, don't, never leave an envelope naked. But I've gotten lazy over the years, and sometimes I don't do it myself. So, but it does make for a really pretty card when you stamp the envelope. Or put designer series paper on the flap. That's even cooler. Okay, so I'm not going to say anything on the inside because that's where I'm going to write my greeting. Now I am going to use some of these 2021-23 in color opal rounds, just to add a little bit more, because these are all the in colors, okay, from last year. So I'm just going to put 3 of these on here. 1 big one, 2 and 3. Okay, so there's my finished card. I hope you enjoyed this today, and I don't do heat embossing enough, I don't think, because I just absolutely love it. So thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.